Brody Brecht, Ankeny High School. Play football, and I run track, and I play baseball. Yeah, so I've been here my whole life. I grew up on the south side. I went to Southeast for K through 5, and then we moved over in Prairie Trail started my 8th grade year. And, I kind of had the same group of friends growing up. So, I'd say Ankeny's a pretty good town, to live in and grow up in, so. Like from the high school or like from the middle school?
Anywhere.
So.
You can do more than one even if you want.
Okay, so middle school, I would say Miss Holland, Mr. Johnson, Miss Molstad, and Miss Bleeker. So we were on the 7th grade gold team, which is all those teachers, and they were just they're just awesome. They love sports, and they're always asking when we played, and they try to come watch us. So they were really fun teachers. And then at the high school, Mr. Boschka is probably one of my favorite teachers. He's just funny. He always brings a smile to your face. And he's coaching with us baseball this summer, so I'm glad I get to have him for that. And
That's right.
Yep. And then Mr. Cowger, I love him. He's a smart dude, and I'm not a big fan of literacy class, but he kind of makes it somewhat enjoyable. So. I think the one I'm closest with is probably Coach Walls. He's my position coach. I've had him for, ever since I was a freshman. And, I see him, every day, talk with him every day. And, he's just a really good coach, but, an even better guy and mentor for me, so.
Absolutely. Does he have a saying, or is there a buzzword that coaches use all the time that just is going to be sticking in your head when you're sweating down Iowa City next fall?
So the wide receivers were always called, war daddies. We're always ready to go to war. We're going to battle for our brothers. So that was kind of our motto. My parents were probably my biggest role models, just because, they'd always, provide for me and everything I needed. They would always, with my mom and dad, I would always ask them to give me a diving catch into the couch for a football touchdown. And, so those small memories as a child, they keep lasting forever. So, I would say they were my biggest mentors.
Absolutely.
Drew Hill, when I was a freshman, he was a senior. He kind of took me in under his wing, and taught me the offense better, and helped me become a better receiver. And I want to thank him for that, because he was a huge part in my freshman year of football. So, and then when I was a ball boy, 2 years before that, Chris McLeod, I kind of look up to him. He was kind of the stud receiver, and I was like, man, I want to be that guy. So. I think it's just kind of, it's made a lot more friends for me. There's some guys that I didn't know going into high school, and now I'm, really close with them. And then another thing, I think being a multi-sport athlete and playing all these, I think it helps me in the other sports. Football is not using the same skills as baseball and track are. Track kind of helps both of them, getting faster. So I just say they kind of go hand in hand and, help you become a better overall athlete. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely tough. I was a 4-sport guy all the way up until my freshman year. I stopped playing basketball, and I'd still probably say that basketball is my second favorite sport, and I don't even play it. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to balance. That was the reason I quit basketball, was just because I needed an off season to get prepared and my body to rest. I couldn't go from football to baseball, track, or football, basketball, track, baseball, and my body just kind of couldn't handle that. I wouldn't be able to put on the amount of weight and muscle that I did to be able to become a D1 athlete. So that was kind of hard for me to step away from that, but I thought it was the best thing for me. So yeah. I would say probably 7th or 8th grade. I kind of could tell that, I was kind of, I was obviously more athletic than, a lot of these kids. That was probably 7th grade. And then 8th grade, I kept noticing all right, I kind of want to do this a lot more. And then, when I got pulled up freshman year, there's not a lot of freshmen that are playing varsity football. So I think that was kind of the, thing for me. It's all right, I need to do this. So then that's when I stopped playing basketball and I kind of just focused on football and baseball. I would say don't ever let somebody tell you that your dreams are too big, because all my life, whenever I tell somebody I wanted to make it to the NFL or MLB or play college D1 football, every person I talk to would just throw the numbers in my face the percent of you doing that is it's not very high. It's these kids from Texas and Florida that are doing that. There's no kids from Iowa doing that. And, that always just kind of motivated me. I always had that in the back of my head. So I would just tell them that, don't let anybody ever tell you your dreams are too big, because if you put in the work and you do everything you need to do, you can get there. Well, most recently, 3 months ago, beginning of February, I was playing a pickup game of basketball in my 7th period open, and I sprained my ankle pretty bad. A lot of people don't know about it because, no sports were going on, and, so I wasn't out and about, but I was on crutches and a boot for 2 weeks. It was pretty bad. It was like a combination of a high and low sprain, and, all the ligaments down there were just kind of pretty messed up, and, to this day I'm still not, 100% on it, and so this track season hasn't been what I've wanted it to be. I've been running slower times than what I was last year, so it's just kind of frustrating. I couldn't really do legs after that, so I'm still trying to get back into that. And so I'd say most recently that's some adversity that I've had to face. I'm always kind of used to being up there, and now I'm just kind of down a little bit. So
okay, now I'm gonna have you reflect on this play. Now talk me through it. What game was that? What was the scenario and the outcome?
So this was against Dowling in the semifinals. The first play, I believe, is in the second overtime. Maybe it was the first overtime, but Jace throws me a fade ball, and I'm going against the Dowling corner, who's I would say is pretty good. I think he's going to play somewhere. And, he's got inside leverage, so I have to give him a little. I have to give him a little shimmy, but we're on the 1 yard line, so I don't got a lot of room to work, and the defense is bringing pressure. So, I think me and Jace just kind of, we always have that trust. If I'm one-on-one, he's going to throw it to where I can get it. And watching it right now, I had to, he had pretty good coverage on me, but Jace threw it, and I just kind of had to fight for the ball. We were kind of going at it for a little bit, but I was like, it's my ball. I got to have this. We got to win this. We got to win this game. And then this other kid comes over and tries to take it out, and I wasn't having any of that. Second play, I think this was start of the second half, because we started out that game slow. But this is kind of our trick play that we do. I'm supposed to throw it to Jace, so Jace goes up to this. He's like, oh, and then the running back goes ready to go. So Arlen took it, and then I reverse and I catch it, and I'm supposed to throw it to Jace, but they had it mapped out pretty well. They're covering Jay, so I kind of had to improvise and try to make a play what happened. So I kind of gave him a little high step, try to get him caught in his feet, and I just went for the goal line. Knew I had to have it. So
how big was that game in terms of the program, your program here at Ankeny?
I think it was one of the biggest games. Obviously you have the state championship that we won this year at number 1, but I would say this is literally it's really, really close. Because the last team to win it since Dowling was us in 2012. I can't remember. It's been numerous times they've knocked us out of the playoffs since then. And then for this game to go into double overtime, it sucked because COVID. If there were fans there, it would have been crazy. Arlen's play was probably one of the plays of the decade. Just to bring down a powerhouse like Dowling, it was just, I think it's just such a big, win for this school. So yeah, it's a big game. big game. I think it's definitely one of the greatest in, Iowa, football history. I would say there's going to be countless times. Like, I've watched the game countless times, and I still get goosebumps watching it. So yeah. Well, I would say within the past year or two, I mean, we've been winning state championships left and right. Like, won the swimming title, or soccer a couple years ago, volleyball, football, got second in baseball last year. Hopefully we can, win it this year. Basketball, yeah, I forgot about that. So, I mean, say within these past couple years, you've been a winner here at Ankeny. I think we've kind of turned it around. I think we were kind of middle of the road for a while, but I think the class of 20 and class of 2021 kind of, started to turn that page, new chapter at Ankeny High School.
Awesome. So in order for Ankeny to win,
you're winning.
That's great.
You're a champ.
Absolutely.
Faith is, the number one thing in my life. I'm part of FCA, and, I go to church groups on Wednesday nights. Yeah, so I'd say my faith is number one, and then other activities. I used to play basketball until I sprained my ankle. Me and my friends, we like to, we go jet skiing or boating at the lake. So, I mean, we do a bunch of things, but yeah. Attend University of Iowa, play basketball and baseball, major in business, and I'm still kind of weighing, what I want to do with the draft this summer or anything. So I'd say it's still kind of up in the air, but I mean, my future playing, obviously my dreams is to play professionally. So and do everything I can to make that happen. But if not, hopefully I can use my business degree and start a successful business. A while up until my sophomore year of baseball, I kind of, knew I had some arm talent. I could throw it pretty hard. I was still working on the off speed, but yeah. Then after the junior year I had, I just realized I needed to play baseball. I just couldn't give it up. I think a lot of people would say I'm better at baseball than football, and I have a higher potential in baseball. So I just knew I couldn't give it up. That's great. What's your top speed baseball? I don't know if it's 100% legit, but at the state tournament last year, they had me at 98. But like I said, I don't know if that was 100%. I didn't see it with my own eyes, and but that's just what I heard. Felt it. I felt like I was throwing pretty good, but I don't know. From today, hopefully draft day, but I mean, it could depend if I redshirt or not, but. I would just say overall, for 4 years, I hope I'm, a better person and, athlete than I am right now. Yeah, hopefully I'm getting ready to graduate Iowa and, start the next chapter of my life, whatever it may be. A lot of people kind of give Iowa some slack, but, I'm pretty proud to, be from Iowa and kind of, I think, like, talking like athletically, I think that a lot of the athletes in the 21 class, I would say a lot of athletes in the 21 class kind of, put Iowa football on the map. You look at, Thomas Fedoni, he's probably one of the biggest recruits come through Iowa. You look at Xavier in the 22 class. There's just been a lot of athletes that have kind of, put Iowa back on the map for recruiting, but non-athletically, I think you hear the term Iowa tough. I think we're some pretty tough people, more than, some other states, but yeah.